Welcome to Pocono. The countdown is finally over. The green flag finally waves and we are racing in this off-season spectacular. MTG leads them down into the tricky infield section, but the pack is swarming immediately. Alpha Quadza wastes absolutely no time. He aggressively throws his heavy Camaro down the inside, muscling his way past MTG to steal the lead before they even complete the first sector of the opening lap.
MTG is getting completely bullied out there on freezing cold tyres. Daniel Bourne spots the vulnerability and immediately sneaks through for second place. It takes immense confidence to commit to an overtaking manoeuvre this early on today.
Daniel Bourne is on an absolute rampage, taking the low side of the circuit. He beautifully swoops around Alpha Quadza and snatches the outright lead. The aerodynamic draft effect here at Pocono is incredibly powerful during these early frantic opening moments. The racing is fierce, but there is a wild secondary storyline unfolding. The FIA has secretly activated a brand new boosted achievements reward system for this off-season event. The drivers earn extra points for completing bizarre on-track tasks, but the entire paddock is completely obsessed with unlocking one highly specific, incredibly mythical prize known simply as the double penetration badge.
Martin Bailey attempts a daring double move, but Muzza and Rafin aggressively slam the defensive door firmly shut in his face.
Bailey is refusing to give up. He brilliantly recovers his momentum, aggressively surging past MTG to grab 6th place, and he does not stop there, immediately carrying that tremendous overspeed right around the outside of Rafin to decisively secure 5th. What an incredibly relentless display of sheer driving determination out there. Alpha Quadza and Tomo collide, spectacularly handing 2nd place straight over to the probing Muzza.
We have a yellow flag waving in Sector 1. Alpha Quadza has careened wildly off the racing surface. The marshals are urgently attempting to secure that incredibly dangerous...
Green flags fly. Muzza uses the brilliant restart perfectly, immediately ambushing Daniel Bourne to sensationally snatch the...
Bourne bites right back. He expertly exploits the powerful slipstream generated by Muzza, ducks cleanly out of the turbulent wake at the very last possible millisecond and flawlessly reclaims the top spot. The sheer mechanical grip he found on the corner exit there was absolutely mesmerizing to watch from our vantage point in the commentary box today.
Muzza strikes again. He wrestles the lead violently back from Bourne in spectacular fashion. But Bourne instantly retaliates to regain 1st place. This frantic battling has completely compromised Muzza's exit speed, allowing an opportunistic Tomo to slip effortlessly through into 2nd position. The top order is shuffling at...
We have another yellow flag situation out on track. It is Alpha Quadza once again sadly struggling with the tricky balance of that Camaro. He has gone entirely off the asphalt. Tyres cool down so incredibly fast in these ambient conditions, and when you lose that vital temperature window, the car becomes dangerously unpredictable under heavy braking into these tight infield cornering sections today.
Tomo sucks right into Bourne's toe while MTG aggressively fills those busy rear mirrors. They go spectacularly side by side for the outright lead. Tomo aggressively pins his heavy machine to the inner apex, brilliantly completing the glorious pass on Bourne to snatch that precious 1st overall place.
We hear the driver on the radio saying, "Did it pop? Did I get it?" His exasperated engineer bluntly responds, "Negative, you need 2 cars." Tomo is desperately trying to cheat the system and unlock that elusive double penetration badge on a totally standard single overtake. He fundamentally misunderstood the mechanical criteria required by the FIA service to trigger that highly coveted digital achievement reward today.
MTG ceases biding time and abruptly lunges. He draws sensationally alongside Bourne for 2nd. And MTG spectacularly forces his way through. He clears Bourne to claim 2nd position. The sheer audacity to carry that much lateral speed through the corner transition reveals exactly how desperately these drivers want to conquer this utterly bizarre off-season points rewards format.
Tomo leads, MTG sits 2nd, and Bourne tracks them carefully in a solid 3rd. MTG is relentlessly sustaining severe psychological pressure on our race leader. He is purposely varying his braking points on every single lap, forcing Tomo to constantly monitor the rearview mirrors. That immense mental strain slowly degrades a driver's focus, inevitably leading to small but highly consequential track limit drive.
MTG is substantially turning up the offensive heat. The legendary double penetration badge is worth a staggering 50 championship points, and you can practically see MTG dynamically calculating the spatial geometry required to thread his Camaro between 2 cars simultaneously. He is entirely ignoring the traditional racing line, opting instead to defensively position himself for a theoretical 3-wide scenario. It is an absolute circus of digital achievement hunting unfolding right before our eyes on this sprawling, tricky circuit layout today. Bourne forcefully pulls completely alongside MTG to dispute second place. Meanwhile, MTG is still intensely stalking Tomo through the complex infield sections. We have an incredibly tense three-way aerodynamic chess match developing as they desperately maneuver to manufacture that highly specific digital badge rewarding criteria today.
Bourne intelligently maximises that vital slipstream, punching cleanly.
MTG absolutely refuses to let the leader escape his clutches. He is visibly wrestling the heavy steering wheel to stay attached to Tomo's turbulent aerodynamic wake, desperately preserving his physical proximity for the ultimate.
Bourne clearly possesses the superior tyre life right now to significantly threaten MTG through these
MTG remains completely attached to the rear bumper of our leading car, waiting patiently for the absolute perfect moment to strike decisively today.
If you closely observe Bourne's throttle application on corner exit, it is significantly smoother than the frantic driving inputs from MTG ahead. That delicate pedal control directly translates into superior straight line pace down the oval sections, granting him a truly magnificent opportunity to confidently...
Bourne is brilliantly attempting to geometrically align both MTG and Tomo directly ahead. He desperately wants to forcefully thread the needle cleanly between them. It has devolved into an absolute achievement hunting frenzy instead of a traditional motor.
We hear the driver on the radio saying, "Read me the FIA criteria again." Absolutely unbelievable.
While Bourne is distracted by those digital patch notes, Rafin is ferociously closing the physical gap under heavy braking, looming menacingly in the rearview mirrors of our distracted driver. Bourne miraculously sweeps past MTG for second place despite literally reading.
MTG instantly repays the favour. He utilises the superior traction zone on the outside curve to decisively snatch second place right back from his rival. That was beautifully executed, reactionary racecraft out there today.
MTG abruptly abandons his wild manoeuvre. The server telemetry window to successfully trigger a clean double penetration is so impossibly narrow through this complex sector that it practically requires divine intervention to actually pull it off today.
Further back, Mazza is cleverly applying immense pressure onto Rafin's gearbox. He is constantly shifting his car laterally during the braking phases, actively trying to artificially induce a panic steering mistake.
Muzzer is hilariously ignoring the optimal racing line entirely right now. He is furiously steering his car across the bumpy concrete patches, hopelessly hunting for a rumoured invisible achievement hitbox located somewhere near the infield transition. This absurd obsession with the FIA points bounty is fundamentally overriding decades of ingrained racing instinct. They are treating this sacred tarmac like a bizarre digital playground instead of a serious
Bourne continues to relentlessly probe the defensive armour of MTG. He is smartly evaluating how much grip exists on that dusty inner trajectory. Exploring those unusual lines early in the race provides essential setup knowledge for when he inevitably decides to execute a genuine overtaking pass later on this afternoon today.
Tomo continues leading from MTG and Bourne. Unbelievably, Bourne is physically swiping through his complicated digital dashboard menus while simultaneously probing for a passing gap. He is desperately searching the interface for co-op badge modifiers while barreling toward the braking zone. The sheer level of hazardous multitasking happening inside that cockpit is absolutely terrifying for anyone watching from the safety barriers out there.
We hear the driver on the radio saying, "If I push him, does it count as an assisted penetration?" Bourne is dangerously trying to exploit a loophole to force MTG into a mistake today.
Race Control has incredibly confirmed over the public frequencies that physical assists actually count toward the achievement. This shocking revelation has instantly sparked a highly dangerous temporary alliance between Bourne and MTG out on the circuit. They are actively communicating to orchestrate a coordinated strike on the leader. It is complete strategic madness, and the FIA stewards have practically legalized bumper cars at 200 miles an hour for these precious points out there.
Bourne firmly places his nose squarely into MTG's wheel tracks. They are deliberately syncing their telemetry inputs across the corners. Bourne is terrifyingly preparing to physically force his temporary partner straight into the geometric achievement zone by using his heavy front bumper as a highly aggressive battering ram today.
Bourne completely locks onto MTG's rear bumper, absolutely ready to thrust forward. Meanwhile, MTG urgently probes Tomo for the perfect gap. The grandstand crowd can palpably sense the impending lunacy as this bizarre synchronized maneuver builds toward a completely chaotic and explosive crescendo.
Bourne is aggressively filling the mirrors of his impromptu alley, maintaining a microscopic distance that requires absolutely phenomenal braking confidence and supreme trust. MTG is sensibly biding time behind Tomo right now. He needs the leader to naturally drift slightly wide on exit to open up that critical three-car spatial alignment perfectly. Interestingly, Bourne is now seemingly trying to violently force a premature mistake from MTG. He is weaving erratically behind him, deliberately disrupting the airflow over the rear spoiler. That loss of downforce makes the lead car incredibly nervous, breaking the fragile trust of their ridiculous temporary
We hear the driver on the radio saying, engaging bump draft protocol, brace yourself. Bourne is dramatically turning up the heat, screaming his completely unhinged intentions for the entire paddock to clearly... Bourne is literally bump drafting MTG right through the corner, the absolute madness of this. Bourne fighting MTG as his dashboard violently flashes red, saying penetration denied, excessive velocity.
That reckless bump draft carried entirely too much kinetic energy onto the oval section. MTG is completely helpless as the massive overspeed forces him massively wide into the marbles. Bourne easily overtakes his former ally for second place. It demonstrates exactly why you cannot artificially force aerodynamic physics just to satisfy a digital server algorithm. The tyres simply cannot handle that sudden immense force.
MTG brilliantly gathers it back up and aggressively snatches second place.
Bourne attempts another bold move, but MTG powerfully fights back to defend.
Bourne and MTG are absolutely refusing to concede. They remain locked in a ferociously intense door-to-door physical battle for that incredibly valuable second place on the racing podium today.
Bourne ultimately keeps second place away from MTG. After that phenomenal scrap, he utilises car's bulk perfectly to dictate the corner exit trajectory, squeezing his rival just enough to force a slight throttle lift. That nuanced defensive racecraft is crucial when you're dealing with opponents who are constantly prioritising wild digital achievements over basic survival instincts out on the race. MTG is expertly utilising that massive aerodynamic slipstream down the straights to stay firmly clamped onto the rear exhaust.
MTG rips completely out of the draft and powers magnificently past Bourne to triumphantly reclaim second place.
But Bourne strikes back. He instantly overtakes MTG and then incredibly carries that monumental momentum right past Tomo.
With that double pass completed, Bourne leads the race. MTG holds second while Tomo drops to third. Following them are Rayfin, Muzzer, Bailey, Alpha Quadza and Norchi. The constant shuffling up front is destroying their tyres at an incredibly alarming.
MTG is fighting Bourne ferociously for the lead, and Tomo is turning up the heat on both of them, transforming this into an explosive three-way battle for absolute... Tomo sensationally sweeps past, but Tomo dives completely into the grass. What on earth is he doing? MTG and Bourne immediately fly past him to re-inherit the top two positions. Amidst all that chaos, MTG expertly capitalizes and overpowers.
Yellow flags are out again. It appears Tomo is completely lost out there. He has ventured so far off the designated racing surface that the marshals are genuinely struggling to locate his heavy vehicle.
Unbelievable. Tomo has completely abandoned the actual circuit. He is apparently searching the grassy infield for a highly rumoured geographic telemetry glitch, hoping to digitally spoof the badge. This achievement hunt has officially shattered all logical racing decorum. He is treating the historic Pocono grounds like a massive open-world video game exploration quest today.
While Tomo explores the wilderness, Bourne is sharply refocusing on reality, aggressively probing MTG for any sign of a defensive weakness. You must remain laser focused on tyre temperatures during these...
Muzzer makes a completely decisive late lunge. Tomo suddenly re-emerges, colliding heavily with Rayfin and caught... Rayfin is shockingly stopped on circuit. He is apparently watching...
Thankfully, Rayfin has finally resumed driving and is back on the move. When a driver stops randomly like that, the brake discs cool rapidly, causing a terrifying lack of stopping power upon corner entry.
Rayfin literally parked his race car to unlock the courtside spectator bronze trophy. He entirely gave up on the DP badge just to score a minor situational achievement. This is wonderfully hilarious racing chaos.
We hear the driver on the radio, well, his completely defeated engineer who heavily sighs, saying good hustle on the court, Rayfin, and then now please rejoin the actual race. I have never heard such pure resignation from a pit wall. They spend millions developing these aerodynamic packages, and their highly paid professional driver simply wants to watch an amateur pickup basketball game happening beyond the protective safety fencing.
Bailey ruthlessly overtakes the distracted Rayfin for fifth position. Rayfin is finally rejoining the racing line and regaining his proper track speed, but that impromptu courtside spectator break has massively compromised his overall race time. The competitive pack is entirely unforgiving when you foolishly surrender valuable track position for completely unrelated minor digital server gaming trophies today.
Alpha Quadza is refusing to let the recovering Rayfin escape up the road. He aggressively draws right alongside him, forcing a brilliant side-by-side battle. Alpha is exploiting Rayfin's cold tyres, knowing perfectly well that the mechanical grip will be shockingly terrible after spending so much time parked out on the dusty off-track infield grass sector earlier on today.
Alpha sticks his nose decisively in and completely clears Rayfin to claim 6th place. Alpha is driving with furious intent right now, desperately trying to unlock the highly coveted Vengeance badge after being punted into the scenery much earlier in this event. He is channeling all that lingering frustration into a remarkably aggressive yet highly calculated display of pure Vengeance-fueled motorsport racecraft out there right now.
Astonishingly, Rayfin continues pressuring Alpha while simultaneously broadcasting a live play-by-play of the basketball game back to his extremely unamused race engineer. The cognitive overload required to safely navigate a racing car while verbally commentating amateur sports is totally mind-boggling to witness today.
Alpha Quadza bides his time perfectly before unleashing a stunning move on Bailey to snatch 5th. He carries so much magnificent exit speed off that banking, proving that when he completely forgets about the digital distractions, he actually possesses absolutely wicked underlying pace in that formidable racing Camaro machine today.
MTG commands the field ahead of Bourne, Muzza and Tommo. Alpha sits 5th, leading Rayfin, Bailey and Norchi as the laps tick down.
Tommo lurks ominously right behind Muzza, waiting for the slightest sign of weakness, and there it is. He beautifully executes the pass to snatch 3rd position, having completely failed at finding his rumoured glitch. Tommo has abruptly decided to start driving properly again, immediately reminding everyone exactly why he is consistently fighting at the very sharp end of this racing championship battle today.
Muzza is aggressively closing that physical gap rapidly down into the heavy braking zones. He is bravely utilising an immense amount of late brake pedal pressure, drastically attempting to deeply compromise Tommo's defensive entry line trajectory today.
Muzza brilliantly sweeps past Tommo for 3rd. We hear the driver on the radio screaming, "Was that a penetration?" His disappointed engineer instantly deadpans negative and adds, "Just a standard overtake." It is absolutely hysterical how utterly desperate these incredible professional athletes are to acquire this ridiculous digital brownie point instead of actual racing victory glory today.
Tommo expertly uses the inside line to quickly reclaim 3rd place from Muzza. When you allow yourself to become distracted by screaming onto the radio about virtual badges, you momentarily lose that critical razor-sharp focus required to accurately place the car. That tiny lapse in concentration directly facilitated Tommo's effortless retaliation through the following corner section today.
Muzza and Tommo are continually trading paint out there. They refuse to settle down, persistently engaging in an incredibly aggressive, wildly entertaining physical brawl over the final step of the podium right now today.
The grandstands are genuinely getting extremely restless right now. These fans paid incredibly good money specifically to witness someone successfully executing a mythical double penetration today, and the continuous failures are rapidly...
Rayfin inherits 5th position entirely due to Alpha plunging straight off the circuit. That missed braking point perfectly highlights the disastrous mechanical consequences of overheating.
Alpha is shockingly crawling across the tarmac, allowing Bailey to swoop through and steal 6th. Thankfully, Alpha has managed to gather himself and cautiously resume racing. The suspension took an incredibly nasty knock over those harsh curbs during that wild off-track excursion, severely compromising his overall forward momentum as we tick closer to the checkered flag today.
Bourne is relentlessly applying heavy pressure onto MTG, continuously
Bourne dramatically wrestles 1st place away from MTG. They spectacularly swap paint through the apex, but the digital FIA tracking servers are severely lagging. Absolutely zero achievement notifications are popping up on their dashboards, completely infuriating these incredibly competitive drivers who are risking everything.
MTG fights right back to retake the absolute lead. He superbly utilised the aerodynamic tow generated down that long straight. When you realise the digital reward system is totally unresponsive, you immediately revert to prioritising actual physical track position. He placed his Camaro flawlessly on corner entry, forcefully dictating the racing line and smoothly compelling Bourne to yield the...
Muzza calculates his strategy, patiently trailing Tommo's bumper while
They incredibly pull side by side. Muzza and Tommo have shockingly established an open radio frequency, literally negotiating a synchronized double pass attempt in real time. The blatant collusion happening between these two fierce rivals.
We hear the driver on the radio saying, "If we split the gap together, we both get the badge." Muzza is bargaining desperately while navigating high-speed corners door to door, sharing those intricate strategic thoughts while physically managing extreme tyre degradation requires...
Muzza sits perfectly nose to tail with Tomo, the digital algorithm. Muzza decisively overtakes Tomo to seize third. The fragile alliance collapses as pure racing instincts finally override their bizarre digital diplomacy. He beautifully committed to the inside trajectory, ensuring his opponent had absolutely zero physical space left to defend.
Tomo strikes back instantly, muscling his way past Muzza to regain third position on the leaderboard. MTG continues to lead Bourne at the very front of the field. This constant positional swapping completely shreds the rear tyres. Whoever manages their rubber best during these chaotic final laps will ultimately dictate the overall outcome of this spectacular race.
Muzza immediately locks straight back into Tomo's wheel tracks. These two are completely obsessed with each other. They are furiously refusing to concede a single millimetre of tarmac as this grueling event reaches its absolute climax. The physical exertion inside those heavy cockpits must be nearing entirely critical levels right now.
Muzza and Tomo are severely ruining their tyre temperatures by stubbornly attempting to hold the exact mathematical geometric angle required for that badge. That bizarre lateral scrubbing motion overheats the delicate surface compound immensely, drastically reducing their available cornering grip and making an unforced catastrophic steering error.
We hear the driver on the radio, well, actually his frantic engineers screaming, keep it side by side, the hitbox is right at the apex. They are totally abandoning standard racing lines to forcefully collide with an invisible digital target. This is pure, unadulterated madness unfolding out there. Muzza intensely pressures Tomo, but look ahead, MTG is aggressively taking a completely unorthodox racing line. He has actually found a systemic glitch. MTG astonishingly splits those.
While everyone watches the leader, Muzza launches a desperate attack on Tomo. However, Tomo powerfully shuts the door, brilliantly defending his third position with a robust, perfectly timed application of defensive drive.
He has incredibly unlocked it. MTG has secured the mythical badge. The entire grandstand is absolutely erupting, roaring on their feet and wildly chanting, penetrate, penetrate. It is completely absurd, highly inappropriate and wonderfully theatrical. I have never witnessed such bizarre. MTG triumphantly takes the checkered flag to win this truly chaotic event. Daniel Bourne brilliantly crosses the finish line securely in an incredibly hard-fought second place.
Tomo skillfully brings his battered Camaro home to secure the final podium step in third. Muzza fought valiantly but ultimately settles for a highly respectable fourth position. There's a very substantial time gap further back to Rayfin, whose earlier decision to essentially spectate a casual infield basketball game undoubtedly cost him a significantly better result. It was a thoroughly entertaining, albeit incredibly strange, tactical display out there to...
Rayfin ultimately recovers to cross the line fifth. Martin Bailey follows him closely to claim a very solid sixth. Both drivers completely survived the digital badge hysteria to bring their powerful racing machine safely home after an utterly wild and unpredictable afternoon.
Alpha Quadza has stubbornly stopped again, hilariously refusing to cross the line to claim seventh. Meanwhile, Clinton Norchi quietly navigates all this surrounding absurdity to secure a very respectable...
What a phenomenally crazy spectacle this has been. The double penetration badge is officially conquered. Thank you all so much for watching, and definitely tune in again next week.